This is Rebekah Matheny, Associate Professor in the Department of Design. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're here today to talk about your collaboration with Mohawk. And first of all, well, tell us about the collaboration.
Yes, about 7 years ago, I embarked on this collaboration with Mohawk Group, which is a global carpet manufacturer, and they have a lot of other types of interior finished materials, flooring materials underneath their umbrella. We partnered for 5 years together and worked with the student on a student project where we created this feedback loop between two different projects, and we called it Generation Scrap.
Tell us what the students were doing as part of this collaboration.
The students participated in 2 projects. These were projects I had been developing for a long period of time and finally felt that it was time to bring an industry partner into it. And the reason for that was I wanted the students to learn from these experts in sustainability, in circular design, in manufacturing methodologies, and they were really excited about elevating the student voice and seeing what the future holds from their point of view. So Generation Scrap is really about us thinking of them as this world that's going to grow up in the Anthropocene, and this generation that's going to have to be scrappy with how they address the world and what they make out of the world, and particularly the waste stream.
What do you think Mohawk got out of this collaboration?
They were very interested in understanding what the students, Gen Z, millennials, when we began, see the future holding for them. Whenever we're designing or creating forecasts, futures, it's important to understand who's going to be in that future. And they really wanted to understand their point of view, what they envision, and how they see themselves as designers having an active role in creating that future. So the project began with trend forecasting, where the students look at everything from societal issues, economic issues, environmental issues, the whole gamut, art, fashion, what's at the forefront from their lens. And that's one of the things that Mohawk was very fascinated with. And then they take that trend forecast and filter it through the lens of global waste mitigation and think about waste streams at the global scale in order to impact the local scale. And so they translate their forecast through that global waste mitigation lens to create a design that for carpet that would help us be innovative into the future of carpet manufacturing.
Walk us through this poster.
We had 5 winners. One of the outstanding winning projects was called Terra Haven Trail by Catherine Hunter. And she was looking at the global warming and climate refugee crisis that's occurring. And then from there, she discovered one of the major waste streams from this epidemic of refugees fleeing their country is the life jackets that are being left along the beaches. And when we look at the raw materials of that, we can begin to see a circular design where that is being harvested as currency, as a material that can contribute back to carpet. So her design was actually specifically geared towards healthcare, because refugees, one of the first things they need is to be greeted with health and care. The design translated migration patterns at a 3,000 level scale into the pattern language you see here. But what was fascinating was the idea that while you're looking at these patterns, they're beautiful, they're rooted in environmental colors that are based on biophilia and calming colors for the atmosphere. They're using the life jackets as the backing material and the fiber material. And you can see here, one of the things that we got to do after 5 years was work with Mohawk to actually prototype the materials themselves. So in each year, we had a first, second, and third place winner across the 5 years. So 15 designs were put on exhibition, and we had about half of them prototyped. The project here is called Terra Haven Trail by Catherine Hunter. It was one of the first winning projects, and she was addressing the climate refugee crisis that we experience. And so she was looking at the waste stream that's caused by these refugees as they flee their country. And so we discovered, or she discovered, that when you arrive at the beaches, they discard their life jackets and flee. They're often greeted with people too that are taking them to get health care. So her project was discovering that the life jackets actually currency, provide materiality from waste through a circular design a vacuum and a fiber for carpet design. For projects that, because of the need for healthcare, it's specifically designed for the healthcare industry, and therefore the pattern addresses sustainability from translating the sort of 3,000 level patterns that we would see of migrants, but also the color palette is calming and soothing based in nature, and then you're also sitting on this carpet in the space where you're getting your healthcare that's been made from your own production waste.
So you said your students are engaged in trend forecasting and thinking about the future. Are they largely optimistic or pessimistic?
I think designers are inherently optimistic. We want to create innovation and impact the world positively. And so whether it's through carpet and material design, whether it's through circular design, I think people want to see it right for themselves and to see that design is happening for them to believe that.
Welcome to the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.